I'm going to focus on this. Now this didn't have a hole in it previously. This was the bulk plate that goes in the nose. But this is how I'm going to do the electronics in it. I have a plan, and I don't really know how to explain it. So I'm just going to I'm going to throw up a time lapse of me designing the sled for this. And this bulk plate will get glued into the nose cone here. Right down in there, kind of like that. Yeah, you'll see how I'm doing the electronics. Let's get going on that, I guess. Alright, the sled finished printing. There it is. 2 9-volts, Stratologger, and RC2 Plus. There's our bulk plate for the nose cone. And it fits right in there. So now what we're going to do is it's going to be secured with these 4 screws through that base plate right there. I don't know if you can see those or not. But it'll just screw into here once this is glued into the nose cone. That way it can be removed and messed with. All the charges can be hooked up. All that fancy stuff. This was my solution to not having an electronics bay. Anyways, I'm using machine screws and threaded inserts, like the exact ones that are used on aero packs. Actually the ones that come with them. So I'm going to go ahead and mark where the 4 holes are. I'm going to get this as centered as possible. I wanted this little lip here to fit tight in there, but as you can see, it doesn't quite. I didn't measure the inside diameter of this hole. Rather, I measured the outside diameter of the hole saw, and then I proceeded to sand inside of this to make it smooth. So obviously it's a little bigger, but that's all right. It is what it is. So it's a little loose. The screws will hold it in. I don't really care. So I'm just going to kind of center this as much as I can, and then we'll mark out where one goes, get the hole punched right there, get the threaded insert in, and then we'll get the rest put in. The camera stopped recording while I was in the middle of shooting that last clip of getting all of the inserts put in. The SD card filled up and I didn't realize, so that's on me. But All of the threaded inserts are in. We have the screws in there, and I keyed it. This mark lines up with that one, just lines up with the eye bolt, like that, and then it gets screwed in. It's pretty cool. I'm happy with the way it turned out. Seems pretty good. So now, we gotta get this glued in the nose cone. So I've put it into the nose cone and drew a line around where I want it to go. You can see there's a little bit of black marking on there. I'm gonna once again use air epoxy to get it in there, and then I'm gonna put some in there, push this down, and I'm gonna mix up enough so that I can then make a little bit of a fillet, because this is gonna have all of the weight of the nose cone on it, or tugging on it, and I don't want to lose that nose cone because I can't replace it. So let's get it put in.
Woke up in the pouring rain. My clothes are dry, my face is numb. I fell into a rabbit hole where no one even knows I'm here.
After arriving in Kansas City with Airfest quickly approaching, basically all there was left to do was fill, sand, and paint. Starting off with the first of those three, I used West Systems with West 410 filler mixed into it. This makes the epoxy thicker and also makes it sand extremely easy. Originally, I had only planned on filling some things here and there on the fillets, but about halfway through, Taylor pointed out to me that the airframes actually had tons of tiny pinholes in the fiberglass cloth that isn't really visible until you get paint on the rocket. With the clock ticking on curing epoxy, I decided to grab a Bondo spreader and go ahead and coat the entire airframe with what I had left. To my surprise, I was actually able to get basically the entire airframe covered, save for a few spots that I missed, but I digress. Once that was all cured, it was time for the real time waster of rocket building, sanding it all smooth.
There's someone out there, I'll pack my bags to Rio. She's a dancer, but I'm a drummer. I'm lost in this world, but I found myself in Rio. On a blanket across the ocean. Love is a game, I know I've been afraid. Call me crazy, but don't call me lazy. Keep me alive, don't feed me to these wolves. Oh my Lord, I feel you now.
Okay, everybody, well, unfortunately, that is really it. Airfest was kind of a wash. We had a cloud ceiling basically the entire time, right around 3,000 feet, except for, I believe it was Saturday. We had great weather until about halfway through the day, and then you saw the clips from that. It kind of just started dumping rain. So that was not fun. Fields were then muddy the next day, and once again we were welcomed with clouds. So pretty unfortunate. We didn't really get to fly a whole lot. We didn't get to fly our 10-inch Nike Smoke. Taylor and I didn't get to fly the Fat Boys. I flew my 3-inch Punisher on the day when it was sunny. So yeah, the Fat Boy is at Taylor's house still in Kansas City. He's going to be taking it to Midwest Power for me so that we can drag race them there, because Braden and I are going to be flying there. Taylor will be driving. He'll also be bringing his Fat Boy. Yeah, I think that's about all I've got for you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.